Hey guys, and welcome to a legendary showdown between two mighty warriors. On the right hand side we have Krablin of VM representing Norsca, my favourite of Viking boys. And on the left hand side, Deadly Bunnies with Chaos going under the name Pathetic Excuses. Now, Pathetic Excuses, you need them in abundance when you're going into a tournament game. That's probably one of my main advice to new players out there. Make sure you have a load of different excuses just in case you lose. Blame the internet, blame your opponent, blame cheating, blame whatever you want, but do not blame yourself. I'm of course joking there, but Deadly Bunny is a true champ of the people here, representing PE. Now, we're going to be coming up against the Warriors of Chaos and Norsca. You might expect this to be a blood and thunder, axe-to-axe warfare, but I'm afraid to tell you guys, the age of the combat army is pretty much dead. And even between these two forces, who have huge rosters involving large monsters, elite infantry, you're not going to be seeing too much of that in these type of matchups, because the age of the skirmish cavalry is now. We have Marauder horsemen and horsemasters dotted all the way along here for the Warriors of Chaos, just a bucket ton of them. And in the main battle line, we do have some cheaper Chaos Marauders. They're cheap, cheerful, not too happy to be here, to be honest. It's not a very sunny day here on the map, so they're not going to be having a good time. We do have Chaos Warriors with Halberds and Mirror Guard as well, plotted in the back line. And the Chaos Warriors with Halberds, as well as Chosen with Halberds, is why I think this matchup is slightly Chaos favoured. We do have a Chaos Manticore up in the sky, and supporting and leading the forces, we do have a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire coming in with Burning Head, Flaming Sword of Rune, as well as Fireborn Scroll of Shielding. And then we have the boy, the man, the myth, the Dragon Ogre legend, Kolek Suneater. He is certainly prepared for all the new Ogre units we're going to be getting in the next couple of weeks. Coming in with Star Crusher, Stand or Die, as well as his really cool Lord of the Storm, which is basically a bound chain lightning. And he's looking pretty angry today. Across the board, we have the Norscan forces, and I must admit, I'm a huge fan of this build by Krablin. Certainly going to be looking to steal it in the future. On this flank, we have Marauder Horsemasters mixed in with Horsemen, supported by Norscan Ice Wolves. Of course, can come with that Frostbite, very good counter-attacking unit, and the Beasts of Tashnar with their anti-large. And often you'll see this, you get some small units of hounds protecting your skirmish cavalry, either buying time for them to escape or hunting down the enemy. Similar situation on the other side, in fact almost identical here, but with two units of Ice Wolves because you can't have multiple of the same regiment of renown. We have Marauders, cheap, cheerful, and these guys will be happy to be here because they're going to have a good time up against the Chaos Marauders. Norscans are in fact slightly better warrior gods, with the Icehorn Marauders down here as well. Leading the forces with a Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, coming in with Plague Rust and Final Transmutation, and Wolfric the Wanderer, Ragnar Lothbrok in fantasy form, coming in with Hunter Champions, Fight or Die, as well as Seafang. Should be some good fun. He is going to be driving forward, and Kolek will win that fight one-on-one if Hunter Champions isn't popped in the moment. But if it is popped, Wolfric will certainly have a good time. It's going to be a real back-and-forth cat fight here. To begin with, Ice Wolves do dart forward. If they can actually catch the Horsemen, they're going to have such a fantastic time because of that Frostbite. They actually start to drag down a few units, but a lovely counterpunch swooping down with the Ferromanticore, working as those hounds are for Norsca to push away the enemy threat. Now, if you're Chaos in this situation, you don't need to win the skirmish game, you just need to make all the enemy skirmishers waste their ammunition, allowing then your halberds to seize the day. Norscan Ice Wolves start to float around this flank, actually get a little bit of a cycle charging into the Chaos Marauders, which is pretty hilarious stuff, and they'll do decent on the charge. And we do have Marauder on Marauder action, as these guys do go to war, but some trickery shall be coming in the form of a Burning Head. Krablin's Micro, as always, absolutely fantastic. Manages to drag back the Marauders, getting away from the worst of the Burning Head. Icehorn Marauders will be counter-charging. Kolek gets hit by a Hunter Champion, so he's going to be retreating for his life at the moment behind the Mirror Guard, who should be able to block in the Marauders, but Wolfric is still on the prowl, and a lot of the Horsemasters will be getting caught here by a boat and desperately trying to fall back, but more Ice Wolves were in deep reserve and now flooding through, and you can see the Warriors of Chaos trying to find safety and sanctuary somewhere. Manticore can't be everywhere in one go, unfortunately. It's hopping on top of the Beasts and the Ice Wolves. Halberds are desperately trying to protect the back line as well, but the front line of Chaos is getting obliterated. We are going to be seeing some thunder come down from the skies here, called down by Kolek, but it's not going to be doing that much damage whatsoever. Final Transmutation does hit Kolek. Star Crusher, I should say. I was about to say called Sun Crusher there. It is doing a decent job up against Wolfric the Wanderer. I mean, absolutely beating the snot out of that mammoth, but He is now getting really badly pinned in by these Horsemasters, who have managed to win the skirmish phase, it would seem. You can see a lot of the Warriors of Chaos forces are in complete disarray, running away in all different directions. Mirrorguard slowly chopping their way through the Norscan infantry, however, and Wolfie the Wanderer very low, down to 3,000 HP, up against the mighty 4,200 of Kolek Suneater. Scroll of Shielding currently popped on him. In the distance, we see a little bit of horse-on-horse action, but the Marauder Horsemen of Chaos simply been overwhelmed here by the more elite Horse Masters and another unit of Marauder Horsemen. Fat Burning Head does come down the line, trying to roast some of those Horse Masters as well as the Marauders, but once again, Krablin, so snappy with the micro, pulls out the way, and that Burning Head actually does more friendly fire than damage to the enemy. One huge advantage, though, coming into the later stages of the game here for Chaos are these Warriors with Halberds, both looking relatively healthy at the moment, but the Horsemasters and Horsemen, as well as those Sea Fans, shall be focused firing them down as much as possible. Good news for Chaos, though. If they do run out of Javelins, Kolek could easily push all of this single-handedly alongside his Manticore Bro, and a lot of the Marauders for Norsca are starting to waver and break. Wolf the Wanderer finds himself in a pretty difficult situation, surrounded by Chaos Warriors, but does manage to pull back due to the help of some heroic Marauder Horsemen charging in to intercept the Halberds and distract their attention a little bit. Chaos so far is vibing at the moment, up to 39 kills, which isn't too bad. Some well-placed Burning Heads, but unfortunately hasn't been able to get the best value. Chaos Manticore is looking now to finish off the Icehorn Marauders, try to break them off the field, and then allow the remainder of the infantry to waste the ammunition of these Horsemasters. But that's so much easier said than done. There is so much ammo left here, and it looks like we shall be getting another strike of lightning coming down from the skies. And there it goes, doing some, okay damage here. Kolek Suneater does get hit by Plague of Rust and 100 Champions at the same time. Oh no, this is a disaster, down to 5 armor. Tries to fight Wolfric, but is going to have to flee for his life. Burning Head comes down, but once again duped there by the Norscan forces. Oh no, Kolek, what have you done? Look at his stats, 6 melee defense. That is abusive, and all of these javelins coming in from all different directions. Kolek is going to be going down with a whimper rather than a roar. Going for a rather dramatic, kind of GCSE level drama acting right there. The Wolf the Wanderer nearly goes down to the Feral Manticore, but I think that is going to be game. There's simply too many Norscan Vikings roaming the hills, and it shall be a valiant defeat for the forces of the Warriors of Chaos. Very close game between Deadly Bunnies and Krablin there. Always good to see these guys in action, both pretty damn good competitive players. In fact, we will be seeing Krablin, I believe, in this season's DVD finals alongside 3 more Warrior Gods. Well played, though. What did you guys think of that game? We will, of course, get to the damage value and damage dealt of all the units in just a second. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up as well as subscribing for more glorious Total War Warhammer content. And let me know down below in the comments, what did you think of the battle? Who was your MVP? And what do you think about these two factions who are bred to be these close combat slaughterers? Basically having to forego that completely because of the current meta, and I would argue the most pivotal unit in both of these rosters are their Horsemen. Almost in not every matchup, but 90% of matchups, you need Horsemen. Skirmish Cavalry is by far and away the best unit type in the game by a country mile, in my opinion, at the moment. It's so pivotal at the moment, and if you don't bring it, you simply get kited and slaughtered to death. Although both people put up a good fight here, eventually the micromanagement for the Horse Masters and having more elite cavalry really aided Krablin, and he managed to seal the deal. There's going to be links down below in the description if you'd like to support me via Patreon. I do massive shout out to everyone who already does. I really do appreciate it. It helps me out quite a bit. There's also links down below to my Discord where you can submit replays to get cast upon the channel, just like Deadly Bunnies did here. Get involved in tournaments, events and that I host, as well as keeping up to date with the YouTube channel and chilling out with a load of cool people. We've got new players, experienced players, always plenty of people to face and hone your skills against. There's links down below in the description to my Games Planet account where you guys can get discounts on the next Total War Warhammer DLC, Total War Warhammer 3, and all that good stuff. But anyway, on to the glorious damage dealt and damage value. Kolek Suneater, the god of dragon ogres, 1,654 damage value. Not terrible, but certainly not fantastic either. He did give Wulfric an absolute pounding at one point when Star Crusher was popped, but unfortunately couldn't finish the deal. Chaos Sorcerer had some well-placed burning heads, but unfortunately, trying to take out those cavalry, they were simply too swift for him. Not managing to connect where he would have liked to. 411 damage value. Not great, but not terrible either. Likewise, the Chaos Feral Manticore. 491 damage value on him. Doing some pretty good work trying to protect the skirmishers where possible, but I think dropping it in order to get more hounds to counteract the Ice Wolves probably would have been a bit of a better gambit. Marauders in the front line didn't have a good day. We kind of expected that early on. There's simply no match for the Norscan Chaos Marauders, who do have that rage mechanic. The Chaos Warriors of Halberds, 924 and 509 damage value, so a bit of a mixed bag there. Likewise, the Mirror Guard got a solid 833, but nothing too special. As for the Skirmish Cavalry, it did struggle quite a bit. There was so much pressure coming from all directions by those Ice Wolves that really did manage to overwhelm them in the mid-game there. As for Krablin, Wulfric the Wanderer got 1.2k damage value. Again, nothing too insane, but those Hunter of Champion pops going down on Kolek at the right time enabled his cavalry to seal the deal. Likewise, the Shaman Sorcerer Metal not getting the best damage value, 585, but was really here for those Plague of Rust. One nice final transmutation as well did come into the bag. For the forces of Norscan and their Marauders, they did okay. I mean, nothing fantastic. Pretty similar to the Warriors of Chaos and Marauders as far as damage value goes. But they certainly got more kills, which is very nice. Chewing through the chaff of the enemy, buying time for these Horse Masters to do their butcher's work. 625, 676, 945, 1015, 938, and 792 damage value. Really good, disciplined play here by Krablin, keeping these guys firing for the majority of the battle, and they still had plenty of ammunition left on the back burners. The Beast of Tashnar, always a fantastic unit, 921 damage value is not too shabby, and the Ice Wolves did okay. Again, they're not really here to get that value, but to pressure the enemy skirmish cavalry and keep them away from the battlefield and key targets, and that's just what happened. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.